What do you think the Hornets coach is telling his team?
He's telling them, man, look, if y'all don't play right, y'all not eating tonight. We're not stopping at McDonald's.
Long drive.
Long drive back. And it's going to be a long drive back. The Devil's going to win this one.
Long, quiet drive.
Long, quiet drive. Ain't nobody talking. Turn them phones in. Turn them phones in.
Turn them phones in. Say that prayer.
Say that prayer.
Everybody go to sleep.
Right all the way back to Montgomery.
Mississippi Valley State University student commentators. Wait, what do you do if you don't play right? Hold up.
Turn them phones in. Say that prayer.
Say that prayer.
Everybody go to sleep.
Phones in.
What's he saying in the huddle? If we don't play right, nobody's eating tonight. Man, bunch of real ones right there. This is interesting to see. Daily Sports Podcast, news, narratives, takes, gambling. Today is Controversy Wednesday. Controversial Wednesday. And I've got some fun ones and some weird ones and just an oh yeah. So we're going to start with Super Bowl stuff, have a fun one and a heartbreaking one and a conspiracy theory holy shit one. So what do we want first? Holy shit one? Sure. Pat Tillman was killed in the line of fire serving his country despite being an NFL football player. I think he was National Guard. He was in Iraq or Afghanistan or somewhere in the war on terror. I believe he
Turn them phones in.
Whoops. He killed in the line of fire, I believe, in Afghanistan. Yes, Afghanistan in 2004. And everyone will remind you that he was indeed killed in the line of fire. He was. That's factually accurate. He was shot by an American. Friendly fire. And the friendly fire was not like a situation where there's a firefight. It very much appears like he was just murdered. Nobody has alleged anything publicly. That's just what it appears like to people on the internet. And of course, no reasonable person would accuse me of alleging anything. I'm simply telling you why people are freaking out about the Pat Tillman shit online every time he's honored at the Super Bowl. On April 22nd, 2004, Pat Tillman killed by gunfire while on patrol of a rugged area of eastern Afghanistan. That's by Kashmir and like the border of India, and is it India? It's Pakistan. Wherever it is, it's like one of the most beautiful places in the world in terms of mountains and deserts and things. It's gorgeous. But Tillman was praised as a national hero. The Army initially maintained that Tillman and his unit were ambushed by enemy forces. Weeks later, Tillman's family learned that his death had been accidental. His parents publicly criticized the Army, saying that they had been intentionally deceived by military officials who wanted to use their son as a patriotic poster boy. Because recruitment. Pat Tillman served his country, why don't you? They believed their son's death was initially covered up by military officials because it could have undermined the support for the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. A criminal investigation was eventually launched into the case in 2007. The Army censured retired 3-star General Philip Kessinger. He was in charge of special operations at the time of Tillman's death for lying to investigators and making other mistakes. Yeah. It appears that he was shot in the head by a rifle from about 10 to 20 yards away. Don't know. A lot of PTSD going on. People mad at him. He was killed in the line of fire, something the NFL likes to push pretty hard. He was shot in the head by someone. By an American. Multiple times. I think multiple times. Not 100% sure. I think yeah. So that's part of this. Okay, Super Bowl Sodgate. Have you heard about Sodgate? Did you see how many people were falling on their faces? Did you know that as people went through the game footage, mostly Philadelphians, people in the Delaware Valley, go through the game, they have found that, A, the Chiefs never changed their cleats. And the Eagles had to change their cleats multiple times. This guy, named Ollie, I charted slip Sodgate. The Eagles' defense had a player slip on 38% of Patrick Mahomes' dropbacks. 5 times, they had multiple slippages. The Chiefs' defense had a player slip only 14% of Jalen Hurts' dropbacks, with no No snaps. Multiple players slipped. This would normally be just like weird, but it would seem like the Chiefs wore the cleats they needed to wear right away. Which is interesting because the guy that everyone lauded for rolling out the film, the old man who worked at Oklahoma State, came into the game with multiple Super Bowl rings, including one for the Kansas City Chiefs when they beat the San Francisco 49ers. He was quoted as saying to the commissioner, "I stand with the Chiefs today," back in 2019 against the Niners. Roger Goodell apparently told him, "You can't pick a side this year." Oh, and he's retiring. He's retiring. A lifelong Chiefs fan. This guy was that rolled the side out. And it appears very much like the Chiefs knew that the field would be shitty. If I were to counteract my own argument, would be that by the time the Eagles figured out that the slippage was bad, they had already changed their cleats and had a 10-point lead. But that shit is not important. Fuck off. Let's move on to Brett Favre, who launched a lawsuit against Shannon Sharpe and Pat McAfee. Shannon Sharpe and Pat McAfee tried to further their careers by making baseless defamatory allegations against Brett Favre. McAfee responded by saying, "Fuck him, let's go to court." They, of course, talked a ton of shit on him for using money that was allocated for people on welfare and in poverty to build a new volleyball court in southern Mississippi, where his daughter was a player. I'm sure she earned her scholarship. Totally. I'm 100% sure she earned her scholarship. No doubt that she's elite. Maybe she is. I don't know. Maybe I'm defaming someone who doesn't deserve it. Or maybe she sucks. Who knows? Every time his name gets brought up, we have to mention that he tied the hands of the poor people and took money out of their pockets. That is allegedly. They just have to keep saying allegedly. Allegedly, 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 allegedly. They'll be fine. And even if they did defame him, fuck him. So that lawsuit is going on, and Pat McAfee is going to turn this into millions and millions and millions of dollars of content. What a guy. I promised during Super Bowl week that we would talk about the New Mexico State basketball shit show. And so remember, we talked about this. I want to say, do you remember November? There was a death, and I would say the facts seem to point to a defensive kill. Someone who was acting in self-defense killed someone else. He had been lured out of his room by a young woman. I believe she was underage. I could be wrong about that. And then he was jumped, and he had a gun, and he shot someone. He shot two people. One died. This New Mexico State basketball coach, who is on your screen right here, this dude, why would The Athletic just write the facts? I forget the guy's name. I'm not sure that it's super duper important, but this guy kind of covered up the situation. He kind of was like, don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. Okay, that's like whatever. Because the facts very much, like the cops, it's not just like a conspiracy theory that they made it look like self-defense. It looks to all of the internet sleuths like it was self-defense. It's not just the gun and the story. They've got the texts. They've got texts between the other conspirators. They've got footage. It was self-defense. In fact, not only was it self-defense, but in the state of New Mexico, I kind of suspect that the people, including the deceased, are the ones in wrongdoing. I think the state, I don't know which states can do what, but I'm pretty sure that these people are in trouble. Coffee is so good. So, a couple months later, the program gets shut down. They canceled the remainder of their season. And this is interesting because, New Mexico State, they won their first bowl game in, forever and ever as a football program. They also had a really good basketball team. They won a March Madness game, which for, most schools, to me, that counts. If you win a game in the NCAA tournament, you had a good year, unless you're one of the schools with the blue colors, like Nova or Kansas, Kentucky, North Carolina, Duke. You know the ones. Though they need to win too. But all the other ones, if you win one, it's fine. Dan Arvizu, the head coach. So the facts are He said in a letter to the school and community Saturday that the decision to initially suspend the season and place the coaching staff on paid administrative leave was made after reports of alleged hazing incidents within the team. Whew. Man, hazing is bad in 2021, and the details are starting to come out about what players were being forced to do, and being hazed in the home locker room. His teammates watched right there. This is from The Athletic. No one reported it. It just kept happening. It kind of comes out in local news, right? Shortly after the police report was released to KTSM, this is shouts to KTSM in New Mexico, love local news. Once it got out, so this means to me that the coach knew what was happening and didn't do anything about it. Then it comes out to local news. And local news, man, it serves such a big service in our country. The police report cites offenses including false imprisonment, harassment, and criminal sexual contact. Shoving shit up people's asses is what it sounds like. But again, not alleging anything. So that's the state of New Mexico State basketball. Bad. Muy mal. So we're paying attention to that. Manchester City is fighting back in the media. The Wall Street Journal wrote an op-ed about how they're just disrupty, and that's why this is happening to them. Okay. Totally. I don't know who. I don't know who decided that that's what was going on. Got some NFL news. The Eagles' offensive coordinator is heading to the Colts. The Eagles' defensive coordinator is heading to the Cardinals. And the Eagles wide receiver A.J. Brown clapped back at someone on Twitter. So this is JuJu Smith-Schuster, the guy that was held by James Bradberry on one of the fourth to last play of the game or whatever it was. He made a Valentine with James Bradberry's face on it, and he said, "I'll hold you when it matters most." Get it? Ha ha ha. And A.J. Brown clapped back. And remember, A.J. Brown's like Pro Bowl, like second team All-Pro, like an actual elite wide receiver. JuJu Smith-Schuster's washed up as fuck. And he's the guy that you get when you trade Tyreek Hill and, there's no one else around. A.J. Brown, first off, congratulations. Y'all deserve it. Then he says, "This is lame. You was on the way out of the league before Mahomes resurrected your career. 1-year deal, TikTok boy. He admitted that he grabbed you, but don't act like you're that or ever was. But congratulations again." So he's saying is like, yo, you're talking a lot of shit. You suck balls. You owe Mahomes everything. I completely agree. JuJu Smith-Schuster could probably be replaced by about 50 guys, and nothing would have been different. In fact, probably could be replaced with about 50 guys, and the Chiefs would have been significantly better this year. He's not very good. He was good one time, but now he's got very much Laquan Treadwell-y energy, where he tries hard, and if the quarterback's really good, it doesn't really matter how good he is. Eric Bieniemy, the offensive coordinator for the Chiefs, a black man who's been trying to get a head coaching job for a while, is going to take an offensive coordinator job elsewhere, it appears, because he can't get a head coaching job from the Chiefs. Working for Andy Reid is tough for his career, which is kind of a weird thing, man. It screams racism, but it also, like, black men have gotten jobs in this cycle. D'Amico Ryans is the head coach of the Texans. It's not good, but it's also, it's a smart move for him. So congratulations to Eric Bieniemy if he takes an offensive coordinator job. The Raiders have cut Derek Carr. He is a free agent. Take your bets. Everyone thinks the Saints. I kind of think the Jets. What the hell do I know? Back and better than ever tomorrow.